I-86 After Dark recommends simply the best cleaning services. Call 716-912-6940. Western New York's cleaning and restoration leader. From Buffalo to Long Island, this is I-86 After Dark.
Welcome to I-86 After Dark, everybody. It's Wednesday, April 15th. It's tax day, so obviously if you didn't get that done, you're shit out of luck, and the IRS will fuck you a new ass. But anyways, great Dame. How are you, man?
I'm good. It was a nice day here in Buffalo. Got like to 70 degrees, but now it's like torrential rain.
Yeah, it's like that up here in the falls too. We had some nasty stuff come through just in the last like hour or so, and it was nice earlier, just like where you're at, 70 degrees, nice little breeze, felt good. And now we're stuck with the storms coming through tonight and tomorrow. So, and of course,
yeah, it was a shitty sports week for me. So,
yeah, we'll
fucking Islanders blew it. The Mets are blowing it. It's like, thank God I'm not a Jets fan.
Yeah, exactly. And then, hey, who knows? Maybe we might have to say NTM tomorrow because there's a 2% tornado risk.
Oh,
so we'll see what happens with that. But obviously, Hansen will be back for the draft, so good to have him back. Hopefully, fatherhood's treating him well early on, and then, of course, we're here for the next little while. So feel free to throw some comments in there. Obviously, if you get a chance, check out our interviews as well too. We have those up on Spotify and YouTube, so definitely give that a go. But that being said, that will be Don Loose tonight too, so 10 p.m. Eastern. But anyways, if you want, leave some comments. Right now, Buffalo Sabres and Dallas are tied at 1, and they're in the second period, so they're resting some of their starters. So Thompson, Dahlin are out tonight. They're getting a look at some of the others, and Carrick's going to be out at least the first game or two, and who knows. But for anyone who hasn't been following, it'll be Sabres versus Boston in round 1, and Sabres have home ice advantage.
Yep, the only sighting of Tage Thompson you were going to see tonight with a bobbleheads they were giving up.
Yeah, to the first 15,000. So there you go. If you want to see Thompson, either you hope you got the bobblehead, or hey, just rewatch some of the clips from the other night where he scored too. So that's a big plus. But that being said, hey, we'll jump into some football. We'll talk about hockey and baseball in the second half. And the NFL draft is only 1 week away. And it's kind of crazy to think that already. But a lot of things are coming out. And of course, there could be some draft day trades. And that's usually one of the big things we tend to see a little bit of. But there is some speculation that ended up coming out from ESPN. And one of the things that they're thinking about with a couple of the teams is that possibly Tennessee might look to trade down from the number 4 spot. And part of the thing is that obviously they played well under Vrabel when he was the coach. Tennessee decided to be stupid and fire him. Here we are 2 coaches later. Now they have Robert Saleh running everything. And there's nobody left on their roster from the draft classes of 2020, 2021, or 2022. So the only draft class the only good player that they have from 2023 is Pro Bowl caliber guard Peter Skoronski. But other than that, the only draftees that they have left from that year are Will Levis and Tyjae Spears. And the 2024 class sucks because all they have is J.C. Latham, who's done nothing in pass protection at both left and right tackle. Devondre Sweat hasn't done much because obviously he was traded for Jermaine Johnson. And then basically now they want to surround Cam Ward with premium talent, but there's so many damn holes. It's like, good luck, Tennessee. You screwed yourself.
Yeah, they got quite a bit of holes. So maybe trading down and getting some more draft capital might help them. Particularly since they don't seem to draft very well. So the more picks they have, the more chances they might hit.
Yeah. And it's just, there are so many areas they have to look at defensively, offensively, their QB situation. It's not good. But then it's also not good for the New Orleans Saints because they could be speculated to trade down from number 8. And there's a couple things. I mean, Kellen Moore, the head coach, he did scheme well for Spencer Rattler, and then of course for Tyler Shaw. But at the same time, their first round pick, Calvin Banks Jr., he did actually improve as a pass blocker. So that's a big plus. Defensive tackle Brian Brees, which was their 2023 first rounder, was more productive finally. And Chris Olave actually stayed healthy for a change. So that was a big plus. And you got a second team All Pro selection. But then when you're looking at where they're at, they're considered the 10th oldest team in the league and the third oldest defense. So that's a problem. I mean, they're going to get burned. And basically they have contract issues, of course, DeMario Davis, Cameron Jordan, Taysom Hill, which they finally expired after years of restructures. Then, of course, David Edwards and Caden Ellis got signed, but they'll be 29 and 31 this year. And I mean, they'll fill a couple holes in the lineup, but at the same time, they almost have that situation where they have to get younger and they really have to on their picks because they're another team that hasn't drafted well historically.
No, I'm surprised to see that they're one of the oldest teams in the league, and then they go out there and sign a couple, basically 30-year-olds.
Right.
And then, like you said, Chris Olave finally had a healthy season, and he's considered one of the young dudes. So I don't know, man. They're going to have a tough uphill battle, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. And I mean, they have to get younger, especially on their defense. I mean, that's going to be the big thing. But at least they were able to the scheme for Rattler, which is a plus. I mean, they didn't totally crap out or anything like that. I mean, their season wasn't great, but it wasn't horrible either. It's not like Tennessee where they totally just shit the bed and totally did that from week 1. But then the other team, the Kansas City Chiefs, they're actually predicted to possibly trade up from number 9. And this never happens for them. I mean, basically, they could land a player, have a great upside. And what would have to happen is that they would have to, I mean, Andy Reid ended up trading 2 first-round picks and move up from Mahomes in 2017. So that was a plus. They ended up landing a standout left tackle in Josh Simmons, which was a big plus because he had a big injury right before the draft. But then when you look at some of the positions that they've had in round 1 in recent years, they've actually drafted okay. They had George Karlaftis. They've had Felix Anadike-Uzomah and Xavier Worthy, which, I mean, in the most part, they've been okay. Xavier Worthy has been disappointing in some cases. It is possible that they can land some talent later in the first round, but the problem was obviously we saw what Mahomes does to their team, and they just couldn't do anything after he ended up blowing his ACL out.
Yeah, and I don't think he's going to be ready for the start of the season. I know there's been reports out there that he's going to be ready for the beginning of the season. I can't see that. I feel he's going to miss anywhere from like 4 to 6 games at least.
Right. I mean, and especially with the ACL tear being later in the season, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised even if it possibly stretches as far as week 8, quite honestly. But I mean, I would think at least the first 4 to 6 weeks at a minimum would probably be a good guess in terms of what they're going to be missing. And even with that, not having Mahomes, it's going to be a big problem for them because they had problems scheming around their backup QB last season. And then when you think about what ended up happening, where they got extra draft capital with the Trent McDuffie trade, I mean, that's a huge thing in their favor. I mean, that helps them. But at the same time, it gives them an opportunity. They might be able to look at a pass rusher such as Texas Tech's David Bailey. So that could help them because they do need some help at that. It's just the only thing is, are they going to actually go for that, or are they going to look to rebuild other parts of their team at this point?
Yeah, they're an interesting team because I did like the Trent McDuffie trade. It gave them a chance to get younger, pick up pieces that they need. But then they went out and then re-signed Kelsey. So it was kind of like a mixed bag for me with this team. I know it was only a 1-year, prove it deal. This is probably going to be his last season in Kansas City. I'm assuming, but it just mixed signals from this team. So I don't know where they're going to go, but I feel like they're on a downward trajectory.
Yeah. And it's probably going to be the case. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they do trend downward for a little bit. I mean, sure, still a playoff team. It's just they're not going to have like those deep runs possibly like they've had the last like 10 years. It's just I don't see it happening. And just a real-time score update real quick. It is now 2-2 with 12:59 in the second. So Benson scores first at 3:32 on a shorthanded goal from Kozak. And then Asa Lindell ended up coming back just about a minute later from Ben and Hrikoyan. So on the power play. So basically from there, Sabres score shorthanded, but then they decided, hey, let's take another penalty and let's go get scored on again.
I was like, I don't want to hear anything about shorthanded goals. I think the Islanders gave up one in almost every game the last 10 games.
Yeah, man, I feel your pain on that one, man. It's we'll talk about what happened in that whole situation, but unfortunately, we won't be seeing you in the playoffs this year. But there is at least some room that you guys can do something. So. So we'll see what happens, but of course the fun team we all like to hate, the New York Jets, and they've got the 16th spot in the draft. And of course, one of the things that they would love to do, obviously, they want to trade up to try and get Fernando Mendoza, but of course the Raiders are probably going to tell them not happening. It's not happening. And so basically, here's the thing. So the Jets have 2 second rounders. They have number 33 and 44, 2 fourth rounders at 103 and 140. And basically at this point, there should be some room that they can move around, especially if teams are looking to trade up and they can pay some cheaper pricing as part of that. But the thing that would happen, though, is whatever happens at number 2, from what ESPN is saying, and who and why the Jets would be moving up from number 16. Now, is it possible they would go for an edge rusher or the front 7 and then possibly take that as a second pick and then take number 16 as a wide receiver to be alongside Garrett Wilson, which would make sense. Then you want to get ahead of Miami and you want to get ahead of the Rams because those are going to be 2 big needs for them. So then the other thing that could possibly happen that they're speculating is that if head coach Aaron Glenn wants to double up on defense and add another defensive back, then pretty much every single team potentially between the 7th through the 12th pick and the Ravens at 14 and the Bucks at 15 will be at least considering a defensive back because they need one. And then, of course, also the Jets traded Sauce Gardner at the deadline. So, of course, the possible speculative pick is go for Mansour Delaney from LSU, which he would not be around by number 16.
Yeah. Well, hear me out on the Jets. I know the Jets always be jetting, but they could possibly, and I'd say it's a long shot, but they could possibly finish in second place in the AFC East. The Dolphins already waved the white flag.
Yeah, they're done.
The Patriots had such a cake schedule last year that I think they're going to struggle more this year than they did last year.
Right.
So the Jets, if everything falls right, which never happens for the Jets, they could possibly get second in the AFC East.
That could possibly happen. And you're right about New England. They're going to have a much tougher schedule this year. I mean, that's one of the things that always happens once you come out of a Super Bowl, regardless of which way you end up winning or if you lose. And seriously, New England having the easiest schedule out of anything. And to me, they didn't prove a whole lot in terms of their overall team chemistry and their setup. They really won like a bunch of closer games, but they didn't really have much to show for it.
Well, they needed to go out and improve the wide receiver core. And then what did they do? They got rid of Diggs.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. Yeah. After Diggs didn't show up and he had his 15th baby mamas and it basically decided
got a lot of baby mamas.
Yeah, and she done Cardi B, and Cardi B threw his ass out after losing a Super Bowl. So, And of course, she found out that he was the father was somebody else. So
Not surprising.
Yeah. And then of course he wants to come back to the Bills. It's like, no. Not gonna happen. But then we also have the Detroit Lions, and they had a tough year last year. I mean, they had last couple of years they've been doing really well, and they finally made it back to the playoffs, which is good to see. I'm glad to see that they're at least playing a lot better than what they've been in the past. And now what happens is that the 2025 team missed the playoffs, so they underperformed. And what happened, of course, they lost Aaron Glenn. They ended up losing their offensive coach as well. And now the rookie core or the young core that they had that was on their rookie contracts, I mean, they're getting a lot more expensive now. So now you have to really figure out who do you keep and who do you get rid of? And there are some players that signed extensions, which is going to give them stability. So Jahmyr Gibbs, Sam Laporta, Jack Campbell, Brian Brandy, they all have gone ahead and done that, and they've got their second contracts, which is great. Now, here's the thing: if they end up holding off on a new deal for Branch, and basically if he recovers quickly from the torn ACL, then basically what happens is that the other three get big raises. So Gibbs, Laporta, and Campbell, and they're averaging 10.7 million on the combined on their rookie deals. So then you figure the extensions they have, that's going to be, they're expecting north of 60 million per year. Then you also have to figure Jared Goff, Aiden Hutchinson, Penei Sewell, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and others that are already on huge deals. I mean, they're looking at a cap crunch. So now what the thought is possibly if they trade out of the first round, or if they end up dropping down to at least 17, then it could possibly help them out in terms of getting a little bit of cap room in the meantime. But they also have to worry about Cade Mays, and they already have to, who basically stepped in for Graham Glasgow that they cut.
Yeah, this is going to be a big year for the Lions. I do like their resurgence, like we talked about earlier. Dan Campbell definitely needs to spread the love around as far as coaching. He can't do it all.
Right.
He's got to get people in there that can do the play calling most of the time anyway. I think he was just overused last year. It didn't really benefit the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, whenever you got Amon-Ra St. Brown, though, I love him as a receiver. He's one of my favorite receivers. You can never count him out. But I was just wondering if they're going to move on from one of their big players to, like Laporta, to get even more draft capital, because it seems like they're in a retool, not a rebuild, but a retool. Mm-hmm. But they got to do it quickly because – how old is Jared Goff now? He's got to be pretty old. He's got to be up there.
He's got to be in his closer to his mid-30s at this point.
Mm-hmm. He's not getting any younger. He never had a fantastic arm to begin with.
Right.
So they got to do something in the next couple years.
Yeah. And only recently did he finally get surrounded by having a good group around him with Detroit, because when he was with LA, I mean, he basically didn't have much going on for him at all. And he was just set up to fail. And then at least the trade worked out both ways. But only finally does Goff actually have some weapons that he can work with.
Yep. Definitely.
Yeah. How about them Dallas Cowboys? And the thought is that there's speculation they could trade down from number 20. So apparently, of course, we all know Jerry. He always wants to make some stupid move. And apparently, the thing is, they don't have a lot of draft capital through the rest of 2026 and 27. And they don't have a second round pick this year's in this draft. And their third rounder is 16 picks later than where it would have been as a result of the George Pickens and the Osa.
Say that name.
So yeah, exactly. So basically, now the Cowboys send the better of the first two round, the better of their two first round picks in 2027 to the Jets, and they don't have fourth or fifth round picks next year either. So then, what also happened is then, of course, we all know they traded Micah Parsons, which could have been a lot worse for them, and the draft capital that went to the Jets for Quinnen Williams basically make sure that their defensive tackle is going to be probably one of the highest paid defenders in football over the next 12 months, because they've got Williams, Kenny Clark, Dak Prescott, CeeDee Lamb, and Pickens, and basically they have a super expensive core. So then now they have to build through the draft and rely on talent. But the problem is that right now they don't really have much from the 2023 draft class. They don't have much in the 2024 draft class. The only two players that have really stood out have been either center Cooper Beebe or linebacker DeMarvion Overshown. That's it. They haven't done much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Giants fan, so I love Jerry Jones making the decisions down there for the Cowboys, because he always seems to make the wrong decision lately.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, the Micah Parsons trade could have been a lot worse for them. I felt like they could have got more for him too, but it didn't actually work out for either team, really.
Yeah, it didn't really go too well, quite honestly. So I mean, it's just interesting to see like the type of constraints that they're going to be in for a little bit. And I mean, right now, I mean, obviously, one of the things that's always nice is when Jerry Jones screws up. But hey, us Bills fans, we hate the Cowboys too. So
yeah, I don't know. It's just like these older GMs, owners, they get stuck in their ways. Like he was very good in the 90s. He built a couple winners there. But then he hasn't done anything in 30 years now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Whatever he's doing is not working.
Right. Yeah, it's a shame, because I mean they have the talent to be a good team. They certainly can be a good team. And here they are. They're in cap hell right now. Well, and they have draft capital hell right now too. So, and actually, here's a nice little breaking news. We actually have a tornado warning in the area right now.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah. So this is
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
Yeah. So, if anyone's watching from either northeastern Cattaraugus County or west central Allegheny County, you are under a tornado warning until 8:45. And apparently, there is a tornado possible near Ashford, or about 17 miles northeast of Salamanca, and is moving east at 30. So, basically, that's one of the fun things on the TV. If you're in Franklinville, Rushford, Hardy Corners, Lime Lake, Machias, and Farmersville Station, you know what to do. Take cover and stay safe, and listen to us for a while.
Yeah.
We'll take care of you. But yeah, get into the basement, guys. And they did say earlier this morning, that there may be some possible issues with some storms like that today. So, hey, stay aware about it, and just be careful and do what you got to do.
Yeah. And then Bradley said, "Welcome to the club."
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side, we got the tornado warning. The Sabres just went up 3-2 thanks to Alex.
Man.
So there we are. But yeah, if anyone's watching any of the local stations at the same time that we're on, guess what? You're not going to be getting anything other than tornado coverage on at least 4 of the stations. So
yeah. And how are the Islanders doing on the golf course?
Yeah, they're probably enjoying themselves right now. So that's probably what they're up to. But then, of course, we've got the Philadelphia Eagles. And one of the things that's speculated is that they could move up in the draft from number 23. And, of course, Howie Roseman, he can be pretty good with the drafting. And, of course, there are times where he's made some small moves to get positions of need. And that, for example, Andre Dillard. They've landed Jordan Davis. They even traded a 3rd-round pick for Jalen Phillips and a 5th-round pick for Dontavian Wicks in the past. And they've also dealt Sidney Brown to the Falcons. They've been able to basically hit on all of their selections most recently. And 8 of the 9 day 1 or day 2 selections over the last 3 years have been on defensive players. And they've been able to hit every one of their starters except for right guard Tyler Steen on a significant deal. So basically with that, they're going to probably start shifting over to defense is what's being speculated. And Zach Bond is getting $17 million annually. But then, of course, they also have to take a look at Jalen Carter, Quinion Mitchell, and Cooper DeJean, along with Moro Ojomo and Nolan Smith Jr. So there's that issue. Then, of course, Dallas Goedert's probably in his final year. Only $2.5 million to Saquon Barkley's $16 million cash compensation in 2027 is guaranteed. And Lane Johnson's about to probably hang it up after this year. And then, of course, AJ Brown. There's the deal. Is he going to stay or is he going to go?
Yeah, I'm actually getting tired of talking about the Philadelphia Eagles. I feel like they dominate the football news lately. They need to figure out what they want to do with AJ Brown.
Yeah.
They do have a lot of defensive players that are going to have to be paid soon. So we'll see what they do, but I mean, they've already got, 2 Super Bowls. So
yeah, just it's nuts with where they're going on that, quite honestly. And then of course, one of the other things that's speculated right now is also with the Chicago Bears and possibly trading up from number 25. So the Bears actually first year under Ben Johnson, great job. They really turned a lot of stuff around. And one of the things that's been happening is that their GM Ryan Poles has been rebuilding their defense, and they decided to move on from Jaquan Brisker, Kevin Byard III, and Tremaine Edmonds. And then the other thing that they've done is that, of course, there's Devin Bush and Cody Bryant. They were signed as replacements, but they still have to address the defensive line. And they have deals that they're locked into for Grady Jarrett and Deo Odeyingbo for another year after they signed him in the offseason. And Odeyingbo comes back from a torn Achilles. So basically, if he can do anything this year, that'll be a big plus. They did get a return, of course, from the Bills for DJ Moore. So they do have some draft capital there. But they're going to have the pick number 25, 57, 60, and 89 over the first 2 days of the draft. So it's one of those things. They don't have to go completely all in, but they do have draft capital. They could certainly make a move up, and they could certainly grab an impact player on the defense.
Yeah, the Bears were an exciting team last year. They're definitely one of the teams that I like to root for. I think most people liked what they did last year. With all this draft capital, I do hope they kind of move up and grab like an impact player. Since they do have a lot of picks. So yeah, for sure. And we got some more comments. So All Over Jay has jumped into the house here, and he says, "What's happening, Ginger and Dame?" And hey, we're talking some football. We got some tornado weather here in Buffalo, and Sabres are still up at least, so that's a good thing. And then he also asked, do you think the Vikings will trade Jonathan Greenard during the draft next week? That's a good question. Don't know.
Yeah. I mean, the Vikings do need some help. I just don't know if that's
the Vikings need too much help, though, I think.
Yeah. And honestly, it might be better to keep them at this point. I mean, at least for another year, or at least, because then it's like, what do you get back in return? That's the big problem that you run into. It's like, are you going to actually get enough for them, or is it going to be too little to the point where, you just pissed away some capital? So,
and then like, who's quarterbacking them next year?
Yeah, it's a good question. What are they going to do? Bring in JJ McCarthy again?
I guess they're bringing him back.
I mean, he's been inconsistent. So
I know I had high hopes for him because I drafted him as my quarterback in fantasy last year, and that lasted about 3 weeks.
Yeah, he wasn't who he thought he was, unfortunately. Yeah,
definitely not.
Yeah. Well, I guess there is one good piece of news though. Apparently, that tornado warning just ended. So,
boy.
Yeah. So apparently, who knows? Maybe we'll hear something happened later on tonight or tomorrow or whatever it is. But yeah, for those of you who've been watching, hey, at least you got some of your info first. You can't say we never warned you. So there is that. We actually unlike some shows, we actually do care in that way. So there is that. But let's jump on to the Miami Dolphins because they're absolutely trash, and they're not even going to be anywhere close to doing anything this year. So obviously,
I don't even know what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, obviously they have Jeff Hafley, John Eric Sullivan. They have a lot of draft picks now because, of course, they traded Jalen Waddle. They also had trades from the previous GM, and basically they have they have 2 first rounders at numbers 11 and 30. They have a second rounder at 43, and they have 4 third rounders at 75, 87, 90, and 94. So, I mean, they certainly can get additional draft capital. Now, what ESPN was speculating is that they should deal some of that bounty for 2027 picks, where they only have an extra 5th rounder, and that's because of the Pittsburgh deal. But they really have to focus on the draft quality, and a lot of things that they're thinking is that the idea that next year's draft is going to be better than this year's class is a bit of a joke, because it kind of isn't, supposedly. And a lot of times the other thing is that they're almost wondering, how much is Miami going to overhaul the front office over the next few months, because basically all of the draft for this year was done by former GM Chris Greer and his group. So then now it's like, what is Sullivan going to do as a result of that? So next year, obviously Sullivan's going to have more of his people in place, and he'll be able to work with his scouting group. But Miami, I don't see them doing anything good in this draft.
Yeah, I think they should stand pat and probably just take the picks. I don't know how prepared they are to take those picks.
Either.
But they better get coached up pretty fast.
Yeah, I just don't see them doing anything great at this point. So it could be one of the worst results of the draft this time around. But then here's the other thing. So then Seattle is the other team, and they have them speculated to trade down from number 32. So the thing is, we all know Seattle won the Super Bowl. They don't need to do a whole lot. They could trade down at the bottom of round 1. And basically with that, they could go ahead and they could put together some deals in the second round. And basically what happened is their history, and during the Russell Wilson era, they ended up trading down. They turned the 21st selection into 47, 64, 120, 132, 142, and 204. So it is something where they were able to go ahead and draft some additional players and use capital for that. Now, granted, they ended up getting Darnell Savage, DeAndre Baker, and Greg Little, and that wasn't great. But then they packaged 2 of the picks that they had to move up and get DK Metcalf, which of course did turn out to be a good pick. And then they have their own picks at the end of each round on day 1 and day 2. They did send their 4th and 5th rounders to the Saints for Rashid Shaheed, which, okay, not bad for a receiver. And they also ended up trading their 6th round selection in a lone 7th round pick. So they only have 1 pick on day 3, and it doesn't come until number 213. So it's going to be down quite a bit in the overall rounds. But what they could do potentially is they're thinking if they slide down from 32 or 64, they could recoup some of those picks and be able to go ahead and draft some additional players.
Yeah, I mean, what do they really have to lose? I mean, they're the Super Bowl winner. So either way they go, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked when they brought in Shaheed, so I don't really miss those 2 picks for them. So
yeah,
I think they'll be fine.
Yeah, same here. And then Oliver J ends up mentioning that the Giants should put a package together and get Jeremiah Love for the 5th, and they in the 5th pick, and they can do it. Well, there is the possibility that Dallas wants him. So if they want to do something, they got to do it quick, because, I mean, they're trying to go all in on Jeremiah Love.
Yeah, I'm still a little shell-shocked drafting a running back that high because of Saquon Barkley. That didn't work out too well for us. Worked out great for the Eagles.
Right. Yeah,
I don't ever believe in drafting a running back that high. So
Yeah,
For me, it would be a pass.
Yeah, and I would say, in this case, I mean, I would agree to it. I mean, the Cowboys have some other needs that they really have to focus on at this point. And I mean, right now, I know that they're trying to get ahead, but there is the possible they could go after linebacker Sonny Styles or as one of the other options in the draft. Obviously, I know Jeremiah Love's a big thing, and they could try to move up. But they have some holes they have to fill, so it's not guaranteed that they're going to get Love anyways.
Plus, if the Cowboys are interested, I'm also out.
Yeah,
they have no idea.
Right, exactly. And Dallas just tied it up at 3-3.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
and we got a comment from Bobby. I'll be back next week, bitches. By the way, we should do a mock draft.
Shouldn't we have already done that a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, probably.
Before you went out,
and that's
Bobby?
Mr. Bitch to you.
Yeah. There you go. Oh, man. So now that we spent the first half hour or 35 minutes on the draft, let's talk about some other news going on. And one of the big things that ended up coming out this week is that Deanna Rossini, who is a sports reporter, she has resigned from The Athletic. And part of that came through with the saga of her and Mike Vrabel. And apparently what happened is they were at a private resort. It led ultimately photos that were published by the New York Post ended up leading to her resignation. And she was there for 3 years. And that was after she had left ESPN in 2023. So now what happened is that she got sidelined in the midst of an actual investigation. Reports were made public about internal issues being caused by mixed messages inside the actual publication itself. Now, the New York Times owns The Athletic, and they use it as the paper sports section, and apparently it raised more questions than answers. And also, they're using unnamed sources regarding the investigation versus having anyone actually go on record. So then she resigned on social media, and she basically decided to take the step before the contract expired anyways, and blames leaks about the internal investigations and rumors. So she decided to go ahead and step aside. She does not accept the narrative. And apparently from there, I mean, hey, if she wants to be with Mike Vrabel, she can be with Mike Vrabel. Who cares?
I don't know. She's pretty cute.
Yeah, she definitely is. So it's one of those things. Now, no one knows the real story of the relationship, but apparently now some are saying, hey, it's a double standard. But you know what? Hey, she's free to be who she wants to be with, and it's all good.
Yeah. Well, I don't know how much of a double standard it is, but I mean, if she's covering the sport, I don't think you'd want to date the coach. But then, yeah, I guess Vrabel shouldn't really be dipping into the media.
Yeah. Right, exactly. And we know owners and some others have done that in the past. So we do have that. But no, it's fun. So Bobby's saying these hoes ain't loyal, just saying. Jeez. And then Jay says Rossini is a dumbass. Why would you post pictures? Keep that shit private.
Yeah. Well, it's like the whole Weinstein thing. And Weinstein's a scumbag. We can all agree on that.
Yeah.
But a lot of these women that were doing, sexual favors for him, they were doing it for a purpose, to get a role in a movie or something like that. And they possibly got the role in a movie because they were willing to do that, as opposed to other women that weren't. So how fair was that?
Right.
But of course, you can't blame the victim in this society.
Right.
I mean, I can, but everybody else, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Because I will blame
him. Yeah, it's a little bit crazy, from that being said. So, it is that. But, that being said, also, there was some other news within the NFL. And actually, beforehand, Bobby wanted to jump in about the Harvey Weinstein comment. He said, Harvey Weinstein, Woody Allen would look like a word. Both of them are shitty people.
He only fucked his adopted daughter.
Right. That's like shit you'd find on some porn site.
Yeah, that's like a Jerry Springer episode.
Yeah, very true. That's when he'd have like
Woody.
Woody. Oh man, I gotta say though, man, back when Jerry Springer was on, I mean, it was some of the nastiest TV you could watch, but it was one of those things. No matter
Oh, it
how
was so
bad we would
ridiculous.
have it, it's it was always worse if you were on that show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It actually is former bodyguard Steve. His show just ended after 19 seasons.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, yeah. NBC Universal pulled the plug on all of the talk shows. Doesn't matter what it was, but yeah, Steve, the Steve Wilkos show.
And those bitches on The View still have a fucking show.
Yeah.
They need to get it. They need to go first.
They need to go. I mean, hell, the talk could have lasted longer than it did, and it at least was better. And I didn't even watch it that much.
Yeah.
But,
well, let's face it. The people that are watching The View are probably not contributing much to society. It's on in the daytime when most of us actually have fucking jobs and work.
Right. Yep. Very true. Very true. Oh man. Well, the Washington Commanders have new uniforms. The Baltimore Ravens are getting new uniforms as well, and the Commanders have called it their Hellraiser look with their alternate logo. So what they're doing is basically they're kind of going back to their glory days back in 1992, and they're going to use a more traditional color scheme. So basically it's going to look like what they had with the three Super Bowl wins that they had between 81 and 91. So the way they decided to do it, they also they're going to go back to traditional colors. They also unveiled an alternate jersey called the Hellraiser, which has a spear knifing through the Washington logo.
As I said, I don't know about that spear, man. That's cultural appropriation.
Yeah, really. And it goes through both sides of the black helmet, almost meeting in the front. And then they featured a spear with a feather dangling from it on its burgundy helmet from 65 to 68.
Yeah. And the next step is they're going to go back to the Redskins.
Yeah. But they should have never changed it in the first place.
Well, no, the Native American population didn't even care. They actually looked at it as a tribute.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but you got the white women Karens, they got to come out.
Yeah.
In full force.
Uh-huh. Yep. And then basically with that, so that's going to come out this season. And then on top of it, the Baltimore Ravens are making a change as well. So it'll be actually the first time. It's called Next Flight is what they're naming it. But it's literally the first time that they have made a major change with since replacing the original Shield logo with the Raven head back in 1999. So it's just interesting to see that they're going to be doing that. And back in 2004, they introduced the black alternate jersey with gold trim, which has been a fan favorite for a long time. And they of course, then they had the mustard gold pants in 2015. Then they had the neon purple color rush uniforms in 2016. The purple rising purple alternate helmet, and then of course they also introduced the solid color socks in 2024. So basically, they say they're going to be the last in line for rivalry uniforms, but they're going to start designing it and have it out within about a year or so. So they're going to be making some changes also.
That's weird. I don't see anything about the Ravens, like pictures of the Ravens' new uniform.
Yeah, I don't think they introduce it until at least tomorrow or the end of the week or something.
Yeah, because there's like nothing on here.
Yeah, and even when I was trying to find anything on the Ravens site itself, it has like a coming soon. It doesn't even say what it is.
Oh my god, I'm dying to know. Not really.
Yeah, same here. And then Jay has a question for us here. He's like, is it true the NFL bringing onboarding potential replacements for officials?
I heard something about it.
It's always possible. I mean, I know that there have been talks for a while, and I know, obviously, I mean, they have their union and everything, but yeah, I haven't heard a whole ton about that. And then Bobby comes on, he says, nothing says bums like putting a spear on a W.
Yeah. Spear that W.
Yeah. So That being said, one thing that did also come out is Greg Russo is going to be shifting positions for the Bills. So basically, what happened, obviously, we're going to have a brand new defensive scheme. And when Sean McDermott was here, we ran a 4-2-5 with emphasis on defending the pass. And the pass defense was never a major issue, but the run defense always sucked. So now, of course, we all know Leonard's switching to a 3-4. And one of the changes is Greg Russo. And when we first brought him in, he was a franchise edge rusher. And he would basically now what's going to happen, he's going to be switching to an outside linebacker role.
I mean, he's got the size. He's got the speed. It's going to be a big adjustment for him, though.
Mm-hmm. Right. And especially now that you only have 3 players instead of 4 that are going to be in the box. Now it's going to be, you're going to have to really hit it hard and really make sure you're in the right spot when you need to be in the right spot.
Yeah, for sure. I did find out one story that Jay was talking about. So the NFL has started onboarding potential replacement officials as the expiration of its collective bargaining agreement with the NFL Referees Association approaches. Clubs were informed Wednesday in a memo. Several replacements have completed background checks with NFL security. They will soon be given physical examinations. All right.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I should be like, bend over and cough. There you go. Now you know you're good. Yeah. But one other thing that came out in football, obviously, right before the draft, is Sunday Night Football may no longer be on NBC. So apparently what's happening is that Netflix or Amazon want it, and they want to pay up a lot of money for it. So basically, here's what's going on. So NBC right now, NBC is paying a lot of money for different sports. They're paying $2.5 billion for the NBA, which just came back to their NBC after like 30 some years. And now with what the NFL may want for Sunday Night Football, which obviously is the most popular out of any of those, it's like, how much can NBC spend at this point? So one of the things with speculation is, of course, Netflix wants more events. They want Sunday night's best game for 18 straight weeks. It's a great way that they can monetize ads. So it's probably one of those things where Netflix is in play. Now, the other thing is that there was a comment about NBC from Nathanson, which stems from the league, about the league facing an investigation from the DOJ and the Federal Communications Commission whether the NFL is harming consumers in the way it sells its broadcast rights, and that was reported by ESPN. And apparently, as part of the investigation, the biggest issue in contention has been Roger Goodell and his team's decision to involve streaming platforms like Netflix and Amazon, which adds another avenue for the service providers in the league to earn money by placing certain games behind a paywall versus the existing group of broadcasters. So now, if the NFL is forced to take action, broadcasters like CBS and Fox would be expected to get a bigger piece of the chunk, or a bigger chunk of the pie at a better price, because they have better ties to the government and to the U.S. president. But also the thing is Comcast owned NBC could be the one network that faces trouble with the president, because of course their CEO, Brian Roberts, has been called out as a disgrace to broadcasting. So basically with that, I mean, with the fact that Comcast owns NBC, that's one of the big problems. Well, they used to own MSNBC, and that's where a lot of that came in. But apparently now, if NBC loses the most watched show on TV for the last 15 years, I mean, that's going to cause some major issues for that network, and they're going to lose a lot of viewership. But then at the same time, if someone has to log on to Netflix, or if they have to log on to Amazon TV, it's almost like with the NFL, are they actually looking to kill viewership, or what are they looking to do?
I mean, network television is dead. It's been dead for many years now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy, because like when I was growing up, NBC was like everything. Like CBS was shit.
Right.
Everybody was either watching Fox or NBC. And now if you go into the streaming services, I feel like Peacock is one of the weaker of the streaming services. So I think this would be very detrimental to NBC to lose Sunday Night Football.
Right.
I mean, because Paramount, CBS just picked up UFC. Netflix is doing a bunch of live sports now too. They already have the Christmas games. So I don't know. In order for NBC to stay relevant and Peacock to stay relevant, I think they need to hold on to this.
Yeah. And Jay ends up saying streams will abolish traditional broadcast networks, and he sees it happening. If the NFL moves, stay on Prime because Netflix has too many commercials.
I don't have Prime, which sucks because I didn't. I every time like Thursday night games would roll around, I'm like, oh, I want to watch that. Oh, I can't.
Right. Yeah. So, and it's interesting because I mean, I have had Paramount Plus before. I have Peacock. Here's a nice little thing. You get Peacock or Paramount Plus for free on Walmart Plus if you spend $99 a year for the membership. So, you can choose, and you can flip back and forth every 30 days. So
that's not bad.
Yeah. So I could flip it back to Paramount Plus anytime I want, or I can flip it back to Peacock anytime I want. Just, I can only do it once every 30 days. So there's one way to get some TV there if you're looking for that, and especially if you do utilize stuff from Walmart. Now, I don't endorse any of them, but it's not bad. And then basically, Bobby says, "Don't be a cheap ass dame. It's not that bad regarding Amazon."
Well, I mean, once you add it all up, though, like I got to pay for the Mets games, so that's an extra $25 on top of the MLB network. I have ESPN Plus with Hulu. I have HBO Max. I have Netflix. I have Paramount Plus. And then I steal a couple others.
Right. Yep. Yeah. And with what I have, I mean, I have Peacock right now, although I can switch it to Paramount Plus at any time. I mean, I have my Roku box, so I can throw a ton of apps on there. I already have a sports package I pay for through Spectrum. So I'm already paying for having the additional channels like MLB Network, NBA, all that stuff. I get like the Big Ten Network and the college stuff. So that's part of it. And now the nice thing is that they actually ended up with the complex I live in, they adjusted the cable setup. So even though I pay an extra $55 a month through my rent now, my actual cable bill dropped over $80, which is nice. So now that I've got more stuff included and I pick up, now I have like over 200 channels, which is kind of nice. But I mean, so now it's like, okay, I can work around that and actually get a couple of extra things. Jay says, all you need is Disney Plus, Fubo, and HBO Max.
Jay said, Shudder got to get love. I don't know what Shudder is.
Yeah. Yeah, same here. But
I guess I'll have to give us some love.
Yeah. But, it's going to be one of those things. I mean, whether or not it moves, I mean, who knows? But, I mean, a lot of traditional TV has been dead for a long time. And it's just now, I mean, they're trying to fight and do everything that they can to make it work. But I mean, it might be inevitable. I mean, it might be one of those things where ultimately it does happen. And then actually, Jay says it's an app for original and horror movies.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
What's going to happen is all of these streaming services are going to fold into one. And then we pay one price and we get all these channels. Kind of like cable used to be.
Right. When they claimed it wouldn't have commercials ever.
Oh, yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
I remember TiVo back in the day where you could skip the commercials.
Oh yeah.
And then they had the streaming where it's like, you don't have to watch a commercial again. Now I see more fucking commercials than I've ever seen in my life.
Oh yeah.
And the same ones over and over again.
Yeah. Remember the dish hopper where they were like, oh yeah, it just automatically skips everything. And no, it doesn't.
Especially during the hockey season. Like if I had to see the same 4 commercials over and over again, I was gonna blow my brains out.
Yeah. It's like that on YouTube every so often too. Like if I throw on YouTube and stream it on my TV and I'm just like flipping through, it's like I'm seeing the same damn ads like every single time. It's like, come on.
Yeah, and it's not working. I'm not buying your shit.
Right,
I'm not
exactly.
buying it. It's not working.
Yeah, it's actually turning me away from it.
Yeah.
It's like, come on, guys. It's like, make it worth something at least.
And Bobby says, God, I wish.
Yeah. So, and Jay says ESPN's got the rights for Super Bowl 2027 and 2031. So,
woo.
Yeah. ESPN
Oh, ESPN Plus. Okay. I was going to say that I could roll with, but I hate having ESPN Plus. And then it's like, oh, the game's on ESPN. Oh, I don't get that.
Right.
Well, I have ESPN Plus.
How
do I not get ESPN?
Right. Well, it could be like what a lot of people did, like back when certain games couldn't be on regular TV. Just go to one of those illegal streaming sites and stream it, and then hope it doesn't blow up your computer in the meantime with viruses and all that.
Well, I feel bad for the people that are like in local markets. Like last week, the Islanders game was an ESPN Plus only. So you could be in a local market, and why would you have ESPN Plus? You wouldn't need it. Like I need it here, but I don't need it on Long Island. So that just seems stupid.
Yeah, like if I want to watch an out of market game or something, I could see ESPN Plus for that. But it's like the same situation here. Anytime the Buffalo Sabres have been on ESPN Plus, you don't even get it.
Yeah, I don't even get it. You got to wait 48 hours.
Or see if you can try pick it up on YouTube somewhere and hope someone has an illegal stream on it.
And Jay said ESPN2 doing the same for WrestleMania this weekend. Free first hour.
Okay. Well, that ain't bad, and maybe something happens out of that. So
maybe.
Yeah.
So what do you think? We take our intermission here, come back, talk some hockey.
Yeah, we
some baseball, maybe.
Yeah, maybe we could talk about it and hope that things are going all right. But I do want to say one thing though. Congrats to our friend John over at Around the Ropes. His wrestling show keeps doing a lot more in terms of being able to do coverage, and it was certainly good for him. And we're looking forward to having him back in the near future as well. And it's interesting. He now has the warning, just like our show has in the beginning for his intro. So he finally joined the TV. Yeah, he finally joined the TVMA world and he actually says, "Hey, this show may contain strong language and viewer, which maybe not be suitable for younger audiences and viewer discretion."
We should change our disclosure to this episode may contain Bobby.
It may contain innuendos that are not appropriate, and it may contain Bobby talking out of his ass a little bit. Viewer discretion is advised.
Viewer discretion is advised. Take it with a grain of salt.
Yep, for sure. And then one last thing before we go into the break. So our friends at Nickel City Crew, they're going to be back on Friday with their new season. So check out our friends Rob and DT over there. They're going to be back with us another season. We're going to be simulcasting them. So they have some new stuff in store for the season. And, I actually got to work with them on a little project over the last few weeks. So they're going to have a whole new look on their show at the beginning, which will be pretty sweet. So they're looking forward to debuting it. And Rob's going to be up here for the home opener. So one of the plans is beer and wings, and we're going to enjoy it. So congrats to them on season 6 with their show, and they're looking to do some really cool stuff. And and so definitely check them out, and glad to hear them doing well. So that being said, and actually one other thing with John too, he's got a new sponsor. So hey, he's got a weed dispensary sponsoring his show now. So Simply Green.
Oh, I did see that.
In Quorum. Yeah. So
yeah, hey. When are we gonna do an in-person pod?
Yeah. Well, I mean, as far as I know, I mean, we may have a couple people coming back for another season for sponsorship, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, we're
There you
actively
go.
looking, and hey, if there's any dispensaries or anywhere that wants to sponsor uncensored sports talk that covers the entire state as well as anywhere else, drop us a line. We'd be happy to give you guys a plug.
There you go.
Yeah. So
All
with
right.
that, yeah, we're at the end of the first hour. So stick around. We will be right back with some hockey, maybe some baseball, and who knows what else will come up. So stick around. We'll be right back.
All right. See you on the other side.
This episode of I-86 After Dark is brought to you by Superfry, right here in Merrick, New York. Superfry is serving up homemade soup, legendary hand-cut fries, and wraps that always hit the spot. And if you're hungry for something next level, try the Zazzini, stacked with crispy bacon, melted mozzarella cheese, juicy chicken cutlet, and their signature Roscoe dressing. One bite and you'll know why it's a local favorite. So when you're craving real flavor, head to Superfry in Merrick, New York. Big taste, handcrafted, and always fresh. To place your order, call 516-379-SOUP or just scan the QR code on your screen and get Superfry fast.
All right. Welcome back to the second half of I-86 After Dark. Of course, you got the Ginger Hammer, you got the Great Dame here, and we're going to be talking about some hockey for the next little bit because we're down to the last games of the regular season. And one of the things I can tell you right now, if anyone is watching the Sabres and Dallas, they're in the third period, is tied all up at 3. But we definitely have some scenarios in the playoffs now that we can actually talk about. The NHL is going to have their bracket contest starting tomorrow. So if anyone wants to enter a bracket, go for it. But let's first and foremost, let's talk about the Islanders. I know you want to get that part over with because they crashed and burned because they had a.
You see my face?
Yeah. They had a path to the playoffs and they just crashed and burned and that was it.
Yeah. Oh, like I've been saying all season, we were kind of playing with house money. We overachieved for most of the season. It would have been nice to make the playoffs, particularly for players like Cal Ritchie, Matthew Schaefer, get a little bit of experience. But, I mean, let's be honest. We weren't going anywhere in the playoffs. It was probably going to be another first-round exit, but it still would have been nice to make the playoffs because you never know.
Mm-hmm. Anything can happen. We've seen it. I mean, like I go back to when the Sabres had that run and ended up losing to Carolina and nobody thought they were going to make it as far as they did, especially with having like their fourth and fifth line or like fifth like pairings because of the fact that they were so hurt to the point where they literally had to go deep into Rochester's bench.
Yeah. I mean, basically since they got back from the Olympic break, the team just faltered. I remember a lot of people were talking about the Sabres coming out of the Olympic break and how they were like one of the hottest teams and could they sustain that? Mm-hmm. And they did. Nobody really talked about the Islanders completely shitting the bed and falling apart coming back from the playoff break because they figured they're one of the older teams. The rest was nice. They only had 2 players that went over to the Olympics in Bo Horvat and Andre Palat. And everybody thought they were like poised for a nice stretch run here. And then they came back and the defense fell apart. The goaltending kind of fell apart a little bit, although you really can't blame it too much on Sorokin. It was really the defense, just complete garbage. All the deals that Matthew Darche made at the deadline just backfired on him horribly.
Right.
He just made the team older and slower, and which was exactly the opposite of what the Islanders needed.
Right. As I was going to say with Schaefer, I mean, he's quick and he is deceptively quick and he will outskate anybody. So it almost to that point where you mentioned that it's like you got to pair up somebody with Schaefer that's actually going to keep up. And then it's almost like if you're making that change on your defense altogether, make it a quick defense and actually go through and really take that emphasis on there, because if you're going to make it like a super slow defense where they're going to be there like pylons, I mean, come on.
And that's kind of where they're at. I mean, when they went into overtime 3-on-3, and you could put Schaefer out there with Barzell and Horvat, they were 10-0. Perfect in overtime this season. But they just didn't have enough talent to fill out the roster. And then now going into next season, it's going to be they got a glutton of forwards that they're going to have to sort through. Anders Lee is probably gone, although I really wouldn't be surprised if he comes back on a 1 or 2 year deal.
Right.
He is their captain after all, but a captain that hasn't really done much the last couple seasons.
Yeah, I mean, and here's actually a good question I could always ask you too. If Lee were to stay, do you strip him of the captaincy?
I wouldn't. If he stays, I would keep him at the captain. If he goes, I see Bo Horvat taking the C, but we'll see. Plus, I know it's a very unpopular opinion to most Islander fans, but I would be listening on offers for Barzell. I would at least be listening. Like I said, we were building around Barzell. Now we're building around Schaefer. And we need to take that into consideration. We got to get younger. We got to stockpile picks. It's very rare that an 18-year-old could come into the league and play like he did.
Right.
But, you're going to have to build around him now.
Yeah, and Schaefer had a hell of a great first season. Honestly,
he tied the rookie record held by Brian Leach. We were hoping he was going to break it, but he ended up tying him.
Yeah, but all things considered, I mean, he's been a great addition to the team. So, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how he progresses in year number 2. Now that he's got that experience under his belt and he's able to do so much more when it comes to that. But it also is it'll depend on who Darsh ends up pairing up with them or who he goes with in the draft, because I mean, the bottom line is he can't keep making the defense slower when that's the complete opposite, as you mentioned. I mean, he's got to really build the Schaefer's strengths and really put another solid defenseman as the opposite end of the pairing and really set the tone of that defense. And that's, I think, one of the things that originally I had a concern about with the Sabres. Now it seems to have worked itself out. Looking back at a year ago now, when I was absolutely pissed off that Peterka got traded to Utah in exchange for Kesselring. But when Kesselring's been healthy, I mean, he's been a great addition to the defense. And then when you look at other players that have come in to fill in the gaps, I mean, Samuelson finally had a healthy season, but you're also looking at Norris. I mean, you're looking at, of course, what we have with Dahlin, obviously. I mean, that the defensive pairings have actually finally grown, and Bo Byram has actually contributed offensively. Finally, I mean, he's got like 20 some goals this year.
Yeah, the only thing that I'm worried about going into next year is you got to think about all the things that the Islanders wasted this year. An 18-year-old defenseman that came in and played like Bobby Orr, you just wasted that season. Sorokin had one of the best goaltending seasons in the history of the NHL. You wasted that. Barzal and Horvat had great seasons. Pelech had a nice bounce back season on defense. Yeah. You just wasted all of that. And there's nothing guaranteed for the next season. Even Schaefer, everybody's like, oh, I can't wait to see his ceiling. I can't wait to see his ceiling either, but that doesn't necessarily mean he doesn't take a step back next year.
Right.
Because you usually have like that sophomore slump.
Yeah. And a perfect comparison I can give you, when Tyler Myers was first drafted by the Sabres, had a great freshman season and was leading all categories and really was making some positive changes. Sophomore year, broken leg, shits the bed. It was non-existent. Third year, nothing. Eventually he gets traded. He just is a shell of his former self. And I don't think, even though he has stabilized and he has become a fairly decent defenseman. A lot of times
he never
defensemen
lived up
take
to-
forever to develop.
Yeah, I remember when he came into the league, I thought he was going to be the next Chara.
I thought so too. And then he was soft as shit.
Yeah, very soft, but
Yeah.
which is crazy for somebody that size, but
Yeah, for like
whatever.
someone 6'6", 6'7", is like, come on. So
I guess I'll read some of these comments here. So
Yeah,
Jay
go
said
for it.
Patrick Waugh cursed him. I don't think Patrick Waugh was ever that great of a coach.
No,
But-
great goaltender, but I don't think he was more solid as a coach.
And I know the Islanders said that they were going to retain him as a scout. He already said no to that, so he's
out,
leaving the organization.
Yeah, why would
And
he want to
then-
stick around?
I don't know why. That would just be dumb for him.
Right.
The Islanders rank 30th in scoring with the man advantage. They need to fix that. It's been like that for like a decade, Jay. I don't know. I don't know what it's going to take to fix the power play.
It's like
I really don't.
How many assistant coaches
Perhaps
can
getting
they go
rid of
to?
Barzal because all he does is skate around and kill half the fucking penalty.
Right. Oh, and then Jay also says trade Barzal to Utah. They'll take him in a hurry.
Yeah, I know Seattle would too.
Right.
You know, since he played for the what was it, the Thunderbirds? I can't remember.
Yeah.
The minor league team.
Yeah, Coachella Valley Firebirds.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, and Seattle's going through more change because, of course, Ron Francis is out. So,
But I would just wonder what kind of trade, like, what would it be for Barzal? I remember when the Sabres weren't doing that good at the beginning of the season, and everybody was on the block again, and they're getting rid of Thompson, they're getting rid of Dahlin, and then everybody was like, "We'll take Thompson," and I was like, "Well, Thompson's going to be like 2 firsts and a high
minimum."
prospect.
Yeah. Right.
So what's it going to look like for Barzal? Because he's a great player. He doesn't put up 40 goals like Thompson. So I don't know. I also know that once we did trade them, he would automatically, all of a sudden, you pencil him in for 30 goals a season.
Right.
When he can't even get 20 with us. But it just doesn't seem to be working with the Islanders.
Yeah, and it makes me wonder a bigger question. Is it the system that's just not working, or is it something where the wrong players were put in by Lou and everybody else prior to Darsh?
Well, I felt like we were building around Barzal like the last 5-6 years. And we were always looking to put a player with him, but nobody ever seemed to work. But we never got like that trigger man, that sniper. We never got that. Because Barzal is a pass first.
Right.
And even like you go to our younger players, like Cal Ritchie is pass first. At least Schaefer is shoot.
Right.
Which is nice. But and Horvat's a little bit of both. He'll shoot or pass. So
yeah. And it's definitely something where Jay also says if Dame said he would listen to offers if he was the Islanders, but he never said he would trade Barzal.
I mean, me? I said I would trade Barzal. I've been saying that for a long time. But I don't know. Well, Darsh, if Darsh said that, Darsh has already proven to be a liar.
Right.
He already said he wasn't trading a first-round pick for somebody on the wrong side of 30, and he did it anyway with Shen. So
right. Yeah, Braden Shen getting the deal over there. So it's just, I mean, anything can happen. I mean, and it did with the Sabres also. I mean, when it came down to the trade deadline, I mean, they ended up getting some older defensemen. They did have to bulk up, which they did. Yeah. I mean, obviously they got Logan Stanley, they got Luke Shen. I mean, now it's like the shortest defenseman they have on the team is 6'1", and literally everyone else is north of 6'3". So basically the Sabres did some stuff there. They beefed up on size overall. They beefed up on toughness. Logan Stanley's dropped the gloves a couple times. Luke Shen has. I mean, when they added toughness also. Sam Carrick, he didn't do shit with the Rangers, and he was a perfect fourth line addition to the Sabres. And he's ended up scoring like at least 5 goals in his first couple games. It's like, it's just weird how the system can be so different and the players can adapt so quickly in that sense. And it's like whatever the Rangers were doing just didn't fit them. But what the Sabres are doing, I mean, Ruff's using them in a great way.
But I like at the trade deadline how Kekalainen didn't panic because they went out there. It seemed like they had a deal in place for Robert Thomas.
Right. I remember they wanted to do that and at least give up 2 firsts for him.
Yeah, and that fell through. And then they had a deal in place for Colton Pararenko, but that fell through.
Right.
And then he made a nice deal to get Shen and Stanley in. He didn't panic. I felt like at the trade deadline, the Islanders panicked because they really wanted Kyrou or Thomas. And then they were like, well, this is the offer that we want for them. And it was way too high for both players. And they're like, well, we also have, this guy over here for a first if you want. And he was like, okay, I'll take him.
Right.
So I was like, I don't know. That's a deal you didn't need to have.
Yeah. And when obviously everything happened with the whole Robert Thomas and Colton Parayko deal, it's something where the Sabres were like, okay, well, that's fine. We can raid the Vancouver Jets or the Winnipeg Jets. I mean, we can raid the Winnipeg Jets, get 2 players on the cheap, and still build the defense. And that's what they did. I mean, Logan Stanley's on the right side of 30 at least. And now, of course, Luke Shen is on the opposite side, but he has that playoff experience and he has won in the past. So it's good to have in that sense, because now it's like, all right, well, your defense is going to keep teams honest in that sense. And at the same time, they really bulked up the size, which is important. So that'll help. And then when you look at other additions they've had over the last couple of years, I mean, I think now they have the players that are gelled together to the point where they're really playing for each other, and they elevated the toughness level a bit too, because now it's like, if you go back to that Tampa game, which was arguably like game of the year across the NHL. I'm pretty
sure that was game of the year.
Yeah, that had to be game of the year because you had like an all-out shootout in terms of goals. You had fights. And you had so much action throughout. I mean, easily one of the most memorable games in a long time. And to have 105 penalty minutes, I mean, that means there was multiple players that dropped the gloves, obviously. I mean, we saw that happen. Carrick fought. Kesselring ended up dropping the gloves. Dahlin dropped the gloves. I mean, there were several others. I know Thompson got into a fight. Trying to think who else. I mean, obviously, I know Bo Byram ended up being in the box for a while.
Dahlin got jumped.
Yeah, there was that. I mean, and literally, I mean, you had like 4 or 5 men in each box for a while.
Oh yeah. But going back to all the trades that Kekalainen made, like, you can never have too many defensemen in the playoffs. I mean, we just got to go back to 2006, 7 with the Sabres, and that Carolina series.
Yeah,
when they were
Jay
down
McKee
to like
being
nobody.
And Jay McKee being out didn't help because he had that staph infection. And then literally at that time, I mean, you had 5'0" Nathan Gerbe.
Yep. Yeah, it was just a crazy time, man. And then Jay asked, do the Islanders want to re-sign Anders Lee? I don't know. It's tough. Personally, I don't think they should. I think they need to move on. I think it's time. He is one of the longest running captains in the league right now. And he's the longest running captain the Islanders have ever had in their history. But it's time to move on. It just is. And I love Anders Lee. I have his jersey. He's still capable. He still put up 19 goals this season. And that was definitely a down year for him, but he's still capable of being a net front presence. And I think he also, for himself, he should go out there and chase a cup.
Yeah, he should. And And if they can make it work, then hey, more power to them. And and hopefully they can get some things going on where that it boosts your team. But one thing we do know, Chicago's not going to be doing anything for a while because guess what the Chicago Blackhawks decided to do today?
I don't know. What did they do?
How about they resigned the GM Kyle Davison to a multi-year deal?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's gonna be there for about another 5 years.
All right. I guess he wants to stack up all those picks.
Dumb move, Chicago.
I don't know. I still like the video of Rick Bowness.
Yeah,
about the Blue Jackets. I thought that when I first heard the story, I'm like, that's got to be fake. That's got to be AI.
That's
and
what
then I watched it, and I was like,
thinking.
holy shit, that's not AI.
Right. And then when they ended up having it on TV and when NHL.com picked it up, I was like, whoa, talk about calling out your team.
Yeah, it just reminded me, back in the day with the Colts, it was like playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Right. It almost reminds me of what Torts would do, like in a press conference in that sense.
I don't know. Torts is mild out now, though, I think.
Yeah. Although if you watch any of the old HBO shows when he was coaching the Rangers back at the time, there was some fun stuff in there.
That was just an insane video. Like I said, I was like, it's got to be AI, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. It's refreshing. It's awesome. I loved it.
Yeah, talking about how his team sucked ass and they had no compete level and culture's got to change, and he basically said it's got to start with him also. Well, then that question comes to mind. It's like, Rick Bowness, why didn't you try changing stuff like a long time ago? You've been there for a while.
He's been there for a while. He's been with many teams, including the Islanders. He always seems to get a nice bump when he first comes in, and then the team just goes off a cliff.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. He's a good guy, but I think he's better more as an assistant coach rather than a head coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm sort of thinking, a similar way. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Boudreaux in a sense where, I mean, he'd probably be like a really good assistant. He never had like a ton of success, I mean, although he did have a good run with the Caps, but he didn't really do a whole ton with Vancouver. And then you look at some of the other teams he's coached, and it's just, he's another one. I mean, he can do a lot. He can do good things initially, but then it's almost like the team tunes him out.
Yeah, you know who I would like to see as an assistant coach in the league was Don Granato. He seemed like a good dude.
Yeah,
he didn't get too much of a fair shake with the Sabres. They were kind of
and Adams, and then prior GMs. I mean, they just didn't give him anything to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So that was another issue, but it's just, do I think Granato can coach? Yeah, I do. I just, if he gets if he were to get good resources and he gets like a good roster build, I mean, I think he probably could turn him into something.
Yeah, I see that he was he's involved with USA Hockey again, so that was good.
Yeah, that part's good. And then one of the things also that Bob had here on the list of stuff for us to talk about today, major changes are coming up to Long Island. And of course, you guys have the Bridgeport Islanders going for their final playoff run before they make the move to Hamilton.
Yeah, so at least we get to watch some kind of playoff hockey. The thing is that the Bridgeport Islanders, or Sound Tigers before that, haven't been that successful in Bridgeport, even though they've been there 25 years. Mm-hmm. And just when they started to get some nice prospects in there for the fans, they're like, adios, we're going to Hamilton, Ontario.
Yeah.
So Hamilton's going to have some nice prospects next year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they certainly will. And I mean, they redid the Coliseum out there, and should be a nice setup for them. So, they'll have some more options in terms of hockey. I mean, Hamilton's wanted a team for a while. Obviously, Toronto's got the Marlies in close proximity over to the Leafs. It is nice to see the Leafs get bounced out, though. So that's a plus. So
Oh,
at least
yeah.
we have that. That's always nice when it happens.
And the Austin Matthews drama.
Yep. So definitely nice to see that. But yeah, and one other thing actually also too, and not sure if you saw this floating around just real quick, the new Highmark Stadium, they now have the signage up on the front of the stadium. So now it actually says what it is.
Oh.
I got that up today. So right
No,
before
I haven't been down that way in a while.
Yeah, I will say if anyone who hasn't been down there, check it out. It's impressive. I will say that place looks massive now that everything's up. So I mean, places like
It's gonna be nice. Like I said, I'll
yeah,
probably take a tour when they offer those.
yeah, same here. I would love to do it. I would love to take a tour of that place and just see everything they put together. And rumor has it we're going to have the 5th largest jumbotron in the league, at least for one of them. So if that's the case, but we will have one of the nicest in full 4K ultra high definition too. So I did find that out. So they didn't skimp on that. But the thing that I'm really interested in seeing is how that upper deck is, because if it's going to be like the old odd where it's steeper than hell, that's actually going to be pretty neat for watching football in the sight lines.
Well, like I said, I think it's going to be one of the louder stadiums just because of their overhang and the seats, just the way they are. It should be pretty loud in there now.
Yeah. And especially the upper deck being 60 feet closer to the field, you're going to be like literally right on top of everything, which is great. And, you know, it'll be pretty neat. I mean, I'm looking forward to it. And they're supposed to have the scrimmage actually, I think in August coming up or late July, something like that. But I would
I might
totally
check
go
it
there.
out. I went the last couple years, but the kids get bored with it. So
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing it, just see how they're working on the formations and everything either. But you know, I definitely wouldn't mind checking out a game though. That'd be pretty neat.
yeah. Any news on them getting the white Ford Bronco though?
Not that I've heard of. Apparently they are still talking about the massive buffalo statues that'll be going in fairly soon, but no news on the white Ford Bronco, unfortunately.
I think that would be a nice piece on the concourse.
Yeah, that would be hilarious, dude. It's like when Bobby and myself and his wife, we went to Seattle, they had a Toyota Tundra up on the upper deck that they had up right by the 12 flagpoles. So, and yeah, they don't call it 12th man out there. They just call it the 12s because they don't want to get sued for copyright infringement or something. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Jay has to ruin my night more. How about talking about the Mets and the slump we're in? Last night hurt, and tonight I'm not sure. Ohtani versus Holmes.
Well, Ohtani wins that matchup.
I mean, when we talked last week, the Mets were either in first or second place, and they haven't won a freaking game since we last talked.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell? And they haven't been scoring.
Right.
It's just crazy. I don't know how many times. I think they got shut out like 3 or 4 times this week.
Yeah.
It's just
in
terrible.
fact, yeah, and they're expected to have the opening pitch at 10:10 here Eastern time. And right now, I mean, the Dodgers are 13-4, the Mets are 7-11 now.
And news just came in, breaking news that Ohtani is only 4 batters away.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. But yeah, let's take a look at the Mets though, because I mean, and here's a couple things that have gone on. I mean, Young ends up getting placed on IL because he tore his meniscus, so now outfielder Melendez gets recalled up. So there's that. But at the same time, it's like here you go. I mean, offensively, they're not doing anything. Their batting average sucks. There's no production whatsoever. And I mean, they've had literally next to no runs over the last 7 games. But how about Francisco Lindor not showing up?
Dude, I don't know what that guy has been doing. I think there's more stuff in the background. I don't think Lindor and Soto like each other much. They're kind of battling for the team amongst themselves, and all of Lindor's like friends from last year are gone. So I don't know. I feel like he's lost.
Yeah. And then on top of it, I mean, their pitching hasn't been great. I mean, they've had a high walk content. They've had a high team ERA, so that's not good. I mean, runners in scoring position has not been good, so that's another issue. It's among the worst in the entire league. And then on top of it, then you look at their defensive runs saved. That hasn't been good, and their non-contact injuries have been bad. So it's almost with this specific case. I mean, their president of baseball operations, David Stearns. It's like, what are you doing with this roster? And then Cohen is, same thing. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Then Jay says the only decent person trying to hit but not good is Luis Robert Jr. I can agree with that. Thank God it's early in the season. Baseball is such a long season. You have so many ups and downs. Hopefully they turn it around. I mean, look at last year. We were slow at the beginning, then we got really, really hot, and then we just had a slow decline.
Right.
So we missed the playoffs the final week.
Right. And then the year before that, really, really slow start, really tough, like middle of the season, and then they turned it on, got really hot, and then made it into the playoffs and went to the World Series, basically. So
yeah, just about. It was fun. That was a fun year.
It was. And and the good thing is, at least with baseball, you have 180 games. I mean, we're only 18 games in. It's not the end of the world, but at the same time, they got to do something to change the direction. And whether it's they look at firing their manager and decide to go a different direction on the bench, or whatever they have to do, if they have to move out some players and try to shake things up a little bit, I mean, something's got to take place, because when you're running into a situation where you're having issues with defensive runs saved, with your pitching, with having offensive play, when you're having some of the worst performance with having runners in scoring position, I mean, something has to happen. And when you have almost no runs over the last 7 games, I mean, that's a problem.
Oh, yeah. It just seems like Cohen's a little too hands-on. He needs to take a step back. He's like Jerry Jones over there.
Yeah.
Always like putting his 2 cents in. It's like, we appreciate your money. We'll take your money. But you're a fan, just like us. Like, we don't always think clearly as a fan.
Right.
We just want the team to win.
Yeah.
But you got to trust the people you have in place that they're making the right decisions.
Yeah. And there's been times, I mean, we've thought about it differently also. And that's the great thing about the show. I mean, we're basically the fan point of view. We're not, paid commentators or anything like that. We do this because we enjoy it, and we've been able to build that. And it's a big thing when the fans have a different point of view than what someone really linked into the team would have. I mean, a lot of times when you're in that executive role or you're a team manager, even though you're going to see different things that the fans don't get to see, a lot of times the fans watching from the outside are going to see more than what you would see on the inside, because you're so used to it. It's like you're conditioned to it.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for the call, but
yeah,
nobody's, my phone's not ringing.
Yeah, same here. I mean, it's one of those things. I mean, me and Bob have joked about it, and I think you might have also, where we're like, hey, go ahead and bring us in. We'll change up some stuff. We'll have a president of operations, we'll have a GM, and we'll make some culture changes here. In fact, here we go. I got my phone right here. Nobody's calling me, so it's like, hey, if anyone wants, give me a shout. I'll take it.
Jay said, fire the hitting coach.
Yeah, that could be a first step.
He just got there, though.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he's working with pretty much a brand new roster that was put together this year, because the Mets shipped so many people out.
Right.
I'm not really a big fan of Mendoza, the manager. So
yeah, me either.
I don't know, but Stearns is even more of an idiot, in my opinion. But
right. Well, maybe that's the first 2 changes: fire Mendoza and basically, get rid of Snitker.
Maybe. Maybe. And then my phone will ring and I'll be the next manager of the Mets.
Yeah, there we go. There we go. And actually, a real quick in-game update because we're in overtime right now. So tied at 3, and it is a 4-on-3 right now with 1:38 left. And basically, what happened? Buffalo's on the power play because Maverick Bork got 2 minutes for hooking Alex Took at 2:36.
Oh,
so it's going to get interesting for a little bit at least. But yeah, we got the game on here. So, hey, maybe we'll hang out for a few minutes, maybe see if it goes to a shootout. And, who knows? Maybe see Buffalo close it out in a good way and kind of go from there. But doesn't work if you fan the puck, which just happened.
Yeah.
Good job.
It looks like the Yankees went on a skid too, though. They're only 9-8 now.
Yeah, they're not playing well either. So,
what is going on with New York sports, though? Like, dude, why is New York so cursed all of a sudden?
I don't get it. It's crazy to see like some of those things happening because it's almost like the downstate teams got cursed, whereas the upstate teams were cursed for a long time. And it's almost like it reversed.
Yeah, it's just insane, though. It's like New York's such a big market. Mm-hmm. We have multiple teams in multiple sports, and we haven't won anything.
Yeah,
anything. It's just like,
right.
What is going on?
Yeah, I mean, you guys have 2 basketball teams, 3 hockey teams in the NHL. You've got 2 baseball teams. You've got 2 football teams.
Yeah, well, the Knicks haven't won since the 70s.
Actually,
the Nets have never won since they joined the NBA.
Yeah.
The Mets haven't won since 86.
Right.
The Yankees haven't won since 2009. Mm-hmm. The Jets haven't won since 69.
Right.
The Bills have never won. The Giants haven't won since 2013, I think.
Right.
And then hockey, the Islanders haven't won since 83.
Yeah.
The Rangers in 94, and then the Sabres have never won.
Right. They've been close twice, but that's about it.
Yep.
Well, actually, no goal 99. I'm still pissed off about that all these years later.
Yeah.
And then they admitted after, and then they said after the fact, oh, yeah, that was a goal. I'm like, you fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's interesting here? It said Sabres getting warmed up for Boston.
Yeah, they are. I mean, there's only about, on the TV, there's only about 40 seconds left in overtime. But that being said, the real time is it's already end of the period and it's tied at 3 going into the shootout. So,
oh boy. So
gonna get interesting here. So there is about a 25-second delay between the TV and the internet feed, which NHL.com is the quicker of the feeds right now. So.
And then Jay also said Aaron Judge is a curse. I always said he's not a real captain like Jeter. Mm-hmm. He's a really good regular season player and then disappears in the playoffs.
Yeah, he just tends to take his bag and go home. And and now the TNT feed is caught up and we're at the end of overtime. So shootout it is.
And then Jay asked, were you guys Bills fans during 1990 to 93?
Absolutely.
I mean, I rooted for them. I wouldn't say I was a huge fan, but I rooted for them.
Yeah. And I've been a childhood fan growing up. Actually, back in 93, I was only 11 at the time. So, which is kind of crazy because I'm turning 44.
I was in high school.
Yeah. It's weird because, thinking about it, I'm going to be 44 this summer. So that's going back a little ways. But it is interesting, though, because I do remember meeting Frank Reich in person and actually getting him to sign my jacket at the time when I was a kid. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah. You still have the jacket?
I do not.
Oh, boy.
Flood damage back at a time. So
I had flood damage here, too, and it destroyed probably, I had baseball cards.
Mm-hmm.
Still have them. Comic books, still have them. They're worthless. They're not worth anything.
Mm-hmm.
I had my video game collection with all my old Nintendo, Super Nintendo RPGs with the complete box and the manuals and everything. Those would be worth a fortune damaged in the flood.
Sucks. Yeah, that sucks. And when it happened, it was sump pump failure at my old house where I grew up, and it literally like going down in my basement. I was like, holy shit, there's like 4 feet of water down here, and that's not good. So that's how it worked out. But here's what we got. So the shootout is just getting started here, and basically with what we have going on, Sabres are going to be going first, and with what we have here. So, and Sabres go up 1-0 in the shootout right now.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, so good start for blue and gold. Norris gets the first goal in the shootout. And basically with what ended up happening there, goes to the left, deked him, nice little wrist shot. So, got Ottinger good on the left side underneath the stick. So, there we go. And then Robertson's going to be going first for Dallas. And Dallas just tied it up 1-1 in the shootout. So top shelf.
Who's in goal for the Sabres today?
Number 92. So that is going to be. Yeah, it looks like Colton Ellis is in net. Which. And then Jack Quinn is up now. So we'll see what happens here. Yeah, that filthy goal the other night. And Quinn just scored.
Ooh.
Yeah, faked left, shot right, kept it real low on the ice. And Ottinger was way out of position. So there was no way he was stopping that. I mean, just the way that Ottinger was split too. It's just, Then Rantanen is up next.
And then Jay said, Hammer, if Buffalo beats Boston, will you get new gear? Are you worried on Boston knowing Sabres didn't play well against them this season?
Well, probably will get some new gear. Good thing is Rantanen just got stopped by Ellis. So Sabres are up 2-1 so far. And Alex Tuch is next up.
I don't know. I think this is going to be a big test for the Sabres, though, because Boston is kind of like, I don't know. I mean, they still have a lot of players there from previous playoff runs. So we'll see.
Ooh. And Tuch just missed. So, all right. So Dallas is down to their next shooter. That was a nice fake he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, but just couldn't get the stick fully on it.
Yeah, I was thinking about going to the game tonight, but then I'm like, tickets were like over $100.
Yeah. And then who the hell's up now? Oh, shit. All right, Dallas ties it up.
Oh, boy.
That was a sick goal by Duchesne. Ooh. He burned Ellis on that one.
We're going extra.
Oh, yeah, we are. Jesus. Yeah, Duchesne just burned him. All right, so we got Doan up next. And he got stopped. That was a nice fake he had on him, though. So just watching the stick handling, stop by his right pad. So, all right. So looks like who do we have up next? And Dallas wins.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. Johnston ends up getting the goal for them. Johnston.
Oh, John.
Yeah.
They have so many good players.
I know.
They draft very well, though.
Yeah. Basically went off of Ellis's leg. Just taking a look at it. Yep. Just right above the leg.
Jason Hammer, just get your ass to a playoff game. Too expensive, man.
Yeah, $21,000 a pair is what's going on the resale market right now. I ain't paying fucking $21,000 for it. If I'm going to pay $21,000,
they sold out in like minutes, and the queue, there was like I think there was
There's
like 10,000
20
people or 20,000 people in the queue.
Oh, it was over 20. They had like 25,000 people in the queue for 19,070 seats, and the arena had a shit ton of people in there also. So, like, basically, the resellers all snapped it up.
Yeah, what they should do is show the game out in like the plaza. That would be cool.
They are going to do that. They're going to put the big screens up in Canal Side.
That'd be cool. That's something I'd be interested in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, hey, you want to take a ride down? We'll catch one of the games. Watch on the big screen. All right,
cool. I would do that.
Yeah, I would totally do that. Party in the plaza.
Brown bag of roadie.
Yeah, you can buy cheaper beer than inside the arena down the street at Pearl Street or somewhere.
Oh yeah.
If they have Brawlers open downstairs, get a big ass sub sandwich from there. That'll be good.
There you go.
Yeah, Brawlers is
that
good.
That sounds good.
Yeah, I remember
having better than the Subway I had earlier.
Yeah, well, there's a Subway over on Pine Avenue in the Falls, and then when I was out by there over the weekend, I heard gunshots. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm getting out of here.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, good old 19th Street in the Falls. Yeah, totally you know how that works. Yeah, but no, actually, well, I would hit DeBella's over Subway.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should probably start wrapping up because I got to pick up my daughter from work.
Yep. And of course, with everybody, obviously, with the heavy rain, don't drive through any flooded stuff. And then Jay asks, who do you want to win in the series, Tampa or the Canadiens?
I'll let you go first.
Honestly, I would rather play Tampa. Quite honestly,
I knew you would say that, but I want to see the Canadiens because I hate Tampa.
Yeah, I just want to beat Tampa's ass. That's the only reason why I want to see him. Montreal, we did not play well against this year in several games. So,
Canadiens got a really fast young team, and they keep coming at you in waves. Tampa's kind of slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, and with and the thing is, Montreal, I mean, they have good goaltending also, but that offense that they have is just absolutely crazy with how they can attack you in so many different ways. And they totally destroyed us a couple times this season. So, yeah, real quick before I wrap up, for anyone following the East, you have Buffalo and Boston that's going to be kicking off. You have Tampa and Montreal, Carolina and Ottawa. And then you have Pittsburgh and Philadelphia. They're going to be going at it. Then in the West, you have Colorado and the LA Kings. You've got Dallas and Minnesota. That'll be a good series to watch. Vegas and Utah. That ought to be interesting. And then Edmonton and Anaheim. So there's gonna be some good hockey coming up, guys.
Yeah, I'm more interested in the East matchups than I am in the West, but we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Same here. I mean, Buffalo and Boston, that's going to be a tough series. I mean, that'll be a good one to take a look at. And hopefully, Buffalo does what they're supposed to do. But out West, I mean, Dallas, Minnesota, Vegas, and Utah, that's going to be another one I want to take a look at because Utah's first taste of the playoffs ever since they relocated. And, it'll be interesting to see what happens because Peterka's getting his first taste of playoffs, just like many of the Sabres are getting their first taste of the playoffs.
Yeah.
But then at the same time, the Sabres have proven against Boston. I mean, they're a faster team, but Boston's a more physical team in a sense. But knowing now what the Sabres have done with making some of those deals, I think they can match the physicality out of it. So let's see what happens. It's going to be a fun series.
Yeah, it'll be fun when Anaheim beats Edmonton in the first round.
Yeah, another first round exit for them, and then it's like McJesus will want out after all these years.
He's only got one more year there anyway.
Right,
I think he only signed a 2-year deal.
Yeah. Okay, Kekalainen, go and try to pry McDavid off the free agency market when that happens.
I don't care where he goes as long as he doesn't go to the Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So, but we'll call it a night. So, thanks again for joining us as usual. Obviously, check out the Dom Luce interview if you haven't done so. That's going to be up.
Oh yeah, we didn't even do
10
that.
PM. Yeah, 10 p.m. Eastern time. That'll be up. So feel free to stick around, check that out. It was a fun interview, especially if you love hockey history. Great guy to talk to. So certainly glad we were able to get him on and. And we'll have him come back in the future. Actually, we might try to get him and Craig Ramsey at the same time. So if we can do that, nice. That's even better. But yeah, great conversation with him. Great guy overall too. So check that out coming up in about 12 minutes. And then other than that, we'll see you guys next week. So as usual, take care of yourselves and each other. Jay says, great show. We appreciate you jumping on as always. And, we'll see you next week.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next week. And fucking Bobby will be back.
Yeah, we'll have to talk about how he handled his first shit since fatherhood started. So now,
which one, his kid or the Islanders?
Yeah, or both. Yeah, which one's worse? so.
All right, I'll see you guys next week.
See you guys. Take it easy.
Bye.